Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening to I Bleeping Love Packaging. It's a podcast about people who bleeping love packaging and for those who just don't know that they love packaging yet. Today, we've got Jim Pease, and I'm really excited to talk about the POUCH³, which is just like this really cool new format for flexible film. And Jim has posted about it a whole bunch on LinkedIn. And one of the big things is most flexible packaging is literally half full. And I'm really excited to talk to him about how do you fill out that bag. So Jim, do you want to give a little intro on yourself and what you did to come up with this?
Well, I've spent 30 years in the packaging industry. I built my company selling stand-up pouch machines and flat-bottom pouch machines, three-side seals, side gusset bags, the typical types of pouches you see in the market today. But if you look at the lifespan of these pouches, they date back to the 60s, right? And is there anything that you use every day other than a Bic pen that's more than 50 years old?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Think about innovations in packaging, right? The last one was the flat bottom. But the big push from one of my competitors, which I have a healthy respect for, Titani, those guys are a great organization. And we are in alignment on several things when it comes to packaging. So their flat bottom, was introduced really in 2010 to 2014. But there hasn't been a new introduction of a new format since then. Okay. And it's created a dominance in the industry. It does. I mean, it's an excellent bag, but it's not a box. Even they call it a box pouch. It's not a box. It's a pyramid. So here I am challenged by my son 10 years ago saying, there's got to be something better than a half-empty pouch. So I started thinking about it, looking at my machines. And keep in mind, when you build a machine, you have to build for the market today, and hopefully you can adjust it for the market tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
let me stop you there for a second. Let's talk about your machines really quick, because before we get into POUCH³, you have a lot of history with machinery, right? That was where you really started your packaging journey. Can you tell me a little bit more about your background in machinery?
Yeah, I partnered with Sun Center. Okay, and now I'm an owner of Sun Center. However, there was a need. 1996 through 2000, there were no infrastructure of stand-up pouch machines, none. So that was the explosion. And that's even when the Global Pouch Forum started in the late 90s, okay, to help promote the stand-up pouch, because it wasn't a new format, but everybody waited for Doyne's patent to run out.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's the Doy style, or that's the typical,
The Doyne,
when you
yeah,
think of that pouch, that's the one most people probably think of, which is the one gusset at the bottom that kind of comes, it looks like a triangle almost.
a pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. Pyramid. Yeah, pyramid.
So with that, I started building machines because I had customers asking me to build them. So I started building them, and I built my business providing machines. However, every machine I built was a multi-format. So it could do a side gusset bag. It could do a center seal coffee bag. It could do a stand-up pouch. It could do twin lane stand-up pouch. All the way back to 2000 when I built the first one, that same machine can still run all the other bags that we run today, except for flat bottom. Flat bottom's a specialized machine, but all the other bags. And then what happened was everybody's asking me, Jim, you got to figure out a way that a flat bottom pouch uses two films, printed two different directions. It's huge setup scraps, huge waste. It doesn't run fast. Why can't you figure out a box pouch out of one film? Okay. So challenged by my son, who was at 12 years old at the time. And, here we are today with the POUCH3. But as far as the machinery is concerned, I'm still building machines, and I'm building more custom machines too, also in my Chicago facility, because now we are a full CNC. We do electronic programming, wiring. The entire machine is built on site. And we have a couple of new compact machines coming out that's going to transform the market also. But that's at a later date, another conversation on the machinery side. But leading out of the flat bottom to the cube pouch, that was the challenge. How can I figure out a better, easier way that I can help increase margins? And that's the key to the POUCH3. You can increase your margins as a manufacturer. So if you take a stand-up pouch that costs 25 cents and you take a flat bottom that costs 80, right? Or you sell it for 80, you sell the other one for 25. It might cost you 17 cents to make that 25-cent stand-up pouch. So your margin might be 7 or 8 cents. Great. Flat bottom, it might be 80 cents you sell it for, but it might cost you 65 cents to make it. So now, hey, there's a little more margin in it. What if you can create a premium pouch at the stand-up pouch price, but sell it for the flat bottom price? What did I just do? I created 3 to 4 times the margins that my customers who buy my machines can have, and all they do is switch to the format. And all the other benefits from EPR, sustainability, reduce. The Pouch 3 is in perfect alignment with that. And that's why I actually waited 5 years to introduce this. Actually, almost 10, but I waited because I had a respect for Titani, and I waited for their patent to run out to give them the best opportunity in the market for flat bottom pouches. But now this an import of a whole bunch of different other manufacturers from China and India that basically have copied their machines. So it's hurt their business a little bit because you're not going to buy a Titani if you can buy one of those, but Titani's patent ran out. However, Titani, like I said, we're in alignment, and I'm excited to have these pouches also run on their machines.
That's awesome. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about, you talked about the waste of a stand-up, or sorry, of a flat bottom pouch
Yes.
versus the Pouch 3. Can you tell me a little bit about like the efficiency increase between those two? Like, is there a significant amount of waste reduction?
Significant. So if you take a flat bottom pouch, anybody that runs a flat bottom pouch, and then you say to them, would you rather run a stand-up pouch or would you rather run a flat bottom? And they're going to say, oh, of course, stand-up pouch is drastically less scrap, less setup, less headache, easier to run. Well, the cube pouch is in alignment with the stand-up pouch operation, but all the high value benefits of the flat bottom pouch. So it's a melding of side gusset bags, stand-up pouch, and flat bottom. So those 3 formats are now combined into one pouch cube. So all the benefits of each one of them. However, the biggest benefit is it's a full pouch.
Yeah, I want to get into that too because I bought Sour Patch Kids the other day, and on the back of the Sour Patch Kid bag, it says there's going to be settling and that there's going to be a lot of air, and it's almost like a marketing ploy. I feel like to be like, hey, there's a reason why our bag is so big, right? Can you talk a little bit about the marketing and like maybe because
What I
your
want to do,
pouch? Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say, I want end the days. I'm Gen X. There, I'm telling you how old I am, right? We're all about big branding. More material, get your brand out there. Nobody cares if the pouch is half empty, and all we have to do is say filled by weight, not by volume, right? I want to end that. I want it to say filled by weight and matched the volume, okay? Your product needs to match the packaging. And right now, products don't match the packaging. The packaging is a billboard for advertising, and the product inside is what the consumer has a negative perception the minute they pick up a bag that's not full. And it's wrong. I don't say it's wrong. It's the way it's been. So I introduced the Pouch 3 and full pouches. And it's a whole new concept. But to be in alignment with EPR, I mean, there's going to be huge costs attributed to headspace. I mean, what is your material to volume ratio? If you're not in the 80 to 90% range, which no pouches are out there are in that range, you're going to get hit. And not just the brand owner. Anybody that touches that bag in the supply chain is going to get hit from the States. So what I did was create a bag that immediately reduces the source materials by 30 to 40%. And the mechanics behind the bag is the trick. Now, the mechanics behind the bag, a stand-up pouch or a flat bottom, the closure is actually inside the compartment. Now, being inside the compartment, you need that headspace or the closure won't work. The tension from the film, because again, they're just going to expand out and the product is going to open the zipper. You can't do a drop test. It's going to open. That's why this headspace. And it's been accepted because there hasn't been another reason to switch except, well, it's okay if the customer gets a half empty pouch. I can tell you, when people take one of these and they put them in their hands, right? And they're like, oh my God, it's full. And the trick behind it is the closure is outside of the compartment.
For people really quick, if you have that held up, I know that we're not doing video right now, but it almost looks like a box with header card. It's a very similar shape of almost like like you would see from like a blister card. It's got a cube at the bottom and a little fin at the top. But it looks like that fin folds down flat for shipping. Is that the case?
Folds right down. But now you can cube out your secondary packaging or your retail space. Or since there's no seal interruption, you can stack bags and have merging artwork. So you can still have your big branding. Just stack the bags on the shelf. Create a secondary message like a Rubik's Cube of marketing. Maybe it's Valentine's Day. You arrange the bags on the shelf. It looks like it's got a big heart. Transitions into St. Patrick's Day, move it around. Now it's a clover, or now it's an Easter. So this is another waste that happens that because there is examples of existing packaging that is merging artwork. That's the Ritz Cracker box, keyword box, right? So
Do like they run the face and then the two faces come together and they like line up, or you can turn it on the edge and sometimes it like bleeds to the edge, right? Similar idea.
it's mosaic. And that's where the people that are now switching to this, they're beginning to realize there's a lot other opportunities in marketing that they never had the chance to see that. And this bag can provide that. Plus, it can stand on its side. It can sit. You have any way you want to put it on the shelf, or you want to punch a hole in it and hang it.
And when you're opening it up, does it open up just as wide as a stand-up pouch or as a flat
Wider
bottom?
because take a look at the shape of it. Okay, take a look at this pouch right here. Right on a stand-up pouch, it would be thinner and taller.
Yeah, right.
We're going short and stocky. So that opening is massive. Tell me if you open up a coffee bag and you put your whole hand in it that easy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Well, it's nice and wide. It's
I call it the frog mouth. But think about it. If I grab the corners like this and I squeeze it, look, can you do that with a stand-up pouch and pour or a flat bottom? So you can actually restrict the flow and make it a dispensing also very easy. I won this FPA's highest achievement award for this with 2 gold awards. And I don't know if you saw the write-up from Packaging OEM yesterday on LinkedIn, and it's also on Packaging OEM on their website, that in order for us to be a sustainable world, there has to be something with the design of our packaging. And that must be the core focus. You can change materials, you can do all these other things, but if the design itself doesn't promote sustainability because of the inherent waste of it, you have to rethink it. And that's what we've done with the POUCH³.
yeah, absolutely.
Can I show you something really cool?
Show me what you got.
Okay. So this isn't really cool, but that's a cereal box, by the way. How about a cereal box with a zipper on the top that'll stand on the shelf like the cereal box will? And it's the size.
It almost would replace, I'm thinking of, there's that brand, I don't remember what it is, but they're the brand that sells the bulk cereal that sells it in a bag right now with the
Yeah.
zip, zip bag. I don't remember what brand that is, but it'd be a really great replacement for that.
I want to replace the legacy machines and change everything. Look, fiberboard and these boxes, what are they? I heard they take 5 times the energy of packaging to produce. So at the end of the day, you're burning oil or coal or whatever. So paper and fiberboard and these things, yes, they're sustainable, they're recyclable, but does the energy it takes to convert them, can it even compare to flexible packaging?
I think that's something that's a hard a balance right now, right? Because there's a lot of people who are worried about what happens at the end of the life cycle of it, right? But I think a lot of it comes down to the material itself. As long as you're picking the right materials with the POUCH³, you can pick recyclable materials. They don't have to be multi-lam, right?
This is 100% LDPE.
That's
Now,
awesome.
here's what's cool about it. You want to see, here's something cool? So think of MDO, very expensive recyclable film, PCR content, blah, 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 right? And that's the go-to. But that's more expensive than metallized PET, right?
Yeah, right.
What if I took a layer of PE, extruded a nitrogen layer, and then another layer of PE? So now the bag is like the window in your house. So you get the
Yeah.
barrier protection of metallized PET, and it's 100% LDPE. This bag I'm showing you is exactly that.
That's cool. So can you explain that again? You got a dual layer with a air between it.
Think of a 3-layer line, right? There's A, B, and C. Okay. So maybe you have metallocene, you have LDPE, maybe HDPE. You're creating a structure. With MDO, you're doing something like that. But what if you take one of those layers and inject it as nitrogen? That's it. So now you have nitrogen. Basically, you make a bubble of your film inside itself that's laminated and trapped. Well, that dead air space inside is the barrier that you need.
That's cool. That's really cool. I never thought about that being a possibility with film. And I always think of these like multi-lam where it has to be different materials, but you're basically creating a multi-lam of the same material, which is really cool.
the exact same material, and LDPE is so recyclable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this is the direction Plastilene and DSU, these companies are developing these films and working hand in hand with this and us. And look, this Elementary brand, this 5-pound bag that's sitting on the shelf now, and 10 and 20-pound is coming. They want these bags so full, and this thing will pass a 20-foot drop test
That's
because
awesome.
the PE is extensible. It stretches. These are important aspects to consider, not just the format, but the films inside. That you want to leapfrog over EPR, just change to the film and change to the cube. You're not worried about it anymore. You're mitigating your risk.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let me show you something cool. So remember this bag, right?
Yep.
Have you ever seen a self-closing magnetic zipper?
That's pretty cool.
This is from Magnet Close, and we're partnered with them, right? And the coolest part about it is it outgasses. And now the
Nice.
bag's in a vacuum. So you don't need the outgassing valve. This is 5 pounds of coffee.
Wow. Wow.
So you go to Costco, look, if you look at Roaster Jack, and I don't know if you ever heard of EDC coffee.
I haven't, but
EDC coffee is with Tunnel for Towers.
cool. Okay.
And guess what? We've got a bunch of these bags in Mar-Lago at the commissary. So all the way up to the top guy in the White House
Yeah.
has seen these bags.
When it comes to those metallized self-closure, or sorry, the magnetic self-closures, I know you're able to off-gas and things like that. Is there any concern about like freshness with those, or do they stay pretty? I mean, I saw you squeeze it just now; it was pretty tight. But like, what's the barrier with that?
So they're still going through testing right now. Okay. But again, it self-closes. So it's still a sealed layer of PE against PE. Just like where there's a normal outgassing valve, right? Well, there's a couple of small pinholes that the air would have to go out of, but then try to migrate through. And the pressure on the other side of the magnet can never reopen the magnet. So the magnet's closing it off. And the idea is it self-closes. I take a bag of coffee filled and I tip it over. Before it tips over and spills everywhere, it just gets closed all by itself. Everybody that
awesome.
has seen that magnet, they just absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea, and especially because I've dropped open bags of coffee before on my kitchen floor, and it is the worst, especially if
It's
you
the
get a ground
worst.
coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yep. Yep.
Magnet Close has been a leader, and a Plix with putting Velcro, like on this native pet bag, right? This has got a Velcro closure on it. I say Velcro, but not Velcro. It's
It's
a
like the
Plix.
double mushroom Velcro, right?
It's a hook and a hook.
Oh, there's a hook and
It's a
hook.
hook
Okay.
and a hook. Yeah. But dog food convenience, I mean, a Plix is a go-to, and it's very competitive to zipper. But any of the bags can have zipper, or this one's kind of cool because look, I put a spout on it.
So I have a 10-month-old daughter, and she like loves those little fruit juice pouches. Yeah, those things are great.
But look, I also put a zipper in it. So you can actually not just, let's say I didn't put the cap on, or I lost the cap or forgot it, whatever. But this with the zipper allows to be a shock absorber. So
Yeah.
when you drop it, the zipper will give that headspace, not headspace, but that expansion. So a liquid pouch can pass. But it's pretty cool because they could sit on the shelf pretty easily.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a way you could do. I'm spitballing here. What if you could do that with a magnetic closure part, and you could squeeze it up into or squeeze it down into, and you can have a doser, right? So if you had a certain amount of headspace between that
You
magnet
could
closure and the spout, right?
dose a certain amount. Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. For medical, that would be amazing.
Yeah, for that, or if you're doing like, I'm thinking even
Mouthwash.
for, mouthwash, or if you did like for your dishwasher, if you wanted to dispense a certain amount from the
Yeah,
dishwasher. Yeah, that'd be kind of
that
cool.
that's smart. I like that because you could literally do exactly that with make the magnet a one-way valve
Hmm.
that fills the compartment, and then you take the cap off and you pour it in. So, because this is a big concern with the pods that people
Yeah.
are using, because they're worried that someone may overuse or pour too much in. Okay. So this would be an opportunity where you could have a micro dose. So now your washing machine, maybe you're not buying 2-gallon jugs of laundry detergent, right? You're
Yeah.
buying a concentrated amount in this, and you squeeze it, and that's all you need. And then you pour it out. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I
I think
like
that'd
that.
be really cool. Anything that's a concentrate because I have a hard time all the time with measuring out concentrates. And like if we would like to buy like concentrates for like replacing our hand soap and whatever, because it's like you can just refill stuff. It makes it easier. But the measuring part of it, you either have to keep that cup all the time or you have to, take another measuring cup or something. It'd be cool to have that be a preload, basically, right?
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Well, this bag is entering the cat litter market, and we're doing big drop tests and things like this with the cat litter, but it's also entered the protein powder market.
Yeah, tell me about that because I have big tubs.
Yeah. Well, what about a 3 pound tub right here?
Yeah,
So this replaces a high density bottle. So think about the cost savings when it comes to something like this. They ship high density bottles to a filler. They're empty. How many do you have in a truck? 10,000, 20,000, right? You got 500,000 of these in a truck. And then
yeah,
when they go out, think of a round tub. They put it in a box, right? They put 4 of them in it or 8, whatever. All that extra dead space inside that box. The cube fills out and now you have no dunnage. You don't need to put stuffing or anything around it. The product itself is its own containment. This is a question I ask people all the time. I say, so what is the best packaging format in the world? A box. There is no better packaging format than a box.
yeah.
Okay. So why do we put pyramids in boxes?
Yeah, right, exactly. With the pouch having to come up to a point. Yeah.
Stand-up pouches don't stack on each other. Flat bottom pouches don't stack on each other because the closure needs to be available. It's called nesting. If you can nest a product or Tetris your product into a box, you're going to have massive cost savings and a greater effect on the world. So that was my goal. There's 400 million tons of landfill waste created every year. 157 million tons is from packaging. If I can affect just 10% of that by giving bags that are 30% less material, I can go to the ground saying I made my contribution. I mean, these numbers scale. It's huge. And then the secondary aspect is the packaging, secondary packaging and shipping. If I can ship 80% more on the same pallet than I do now, that's huge. Retail space. Think about a retailer. What if you can have 100% more retail space just by using a cube pouch? They can have
Yeah.
more vendors. They
Yeah.
can have more, right? Their cost
Absolutely.
their footage for product changes.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. We always think about how much a product takes up because, you only get a 2-foot planogram or a 3-foot planogram. And if you can maximize that out with more options or varieties or whatever it ends up being, you're saving yourself a lot of money because you're not paying for a 6-foot planogram,
Your
right?
cost per ounce changes.
Yeah.
You know what I want to have happen? Here's what I'm pushing for. Many years ago, probably before you, because I'm a lot older than you.
I would say not a lot older than me, but we'll go with it.
I remember when all of a sudden people had to disclose and disclaim price per ounce on the retail shelf, saying you get a 12-ounce bag, what's the price per ounce? So then people can decipher if I buy in bulk, I can get a better price per ounce. Well, I would love it if they put on that same tag, material to volume ratio, or which one's more efficient in the packaging, or cost savings using this packaging format versus another. Because I can tell you, most people that I've spoken to and I hear in the industry, they'll pay more if they know that it's going to be better for the environment. They will. Now, the great thing about this bag, you don't have to pay more. It costs less to make.
Right.
Your margins go up. So compared to a flat bottom at 80 cents a bag, maybe you're selling this one at 60. Your margins are fine, but now you get a cost savings to the customer. Won't you get some respect out of that, from where they decided to do the conscious effort for improving the environment? And in doing so, they had more cost savings that they passed on to the consumer. Oh my gosh. Everybody in the EPR is out there saying, oh, we get charged. We're just going to charge more. I mean, my God, this is a vicious circle where the consumer, at the end of the day, is paying for any of these, whether it's a bad policy created or whatever. But we always know inflation. But then you have these stupid things like it. I don't say EPR is stupid. I think EPR is great because it's giving us responsibility for for that landfill.
Yeah. Well, you need to have a target to hit at some point, right? Or else if there's no target to hit, things aren't going to change.
But a lot of people are going to say, I don't care. I'll just pay it and I'll just charge more for my bags. And it's a trickle effect down to the consumer who's going to pay more. Brand owners are going to be the same. But what if they have an examination of conscience and say, let me see if I can do something. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a capitalist, right? I want you to be in this bag, right?
Yeah, you're selling pouches, man.
There's more to it than that because it is the next evolution in packaging. Okay. And it gives customers another choice. Right now, they're stuck with stand-up pouch or flat bottom. That's all they got, right? Now the cube offers another choice and there's more benefits switching to the cube. And at the end of the day, if you can pass some of those benefits and cost savings onto the customer, you're going to have a lot more loyal customers to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that it's a really cool format. It's very new. Obviously, you're just rolling it out. I mean, you won a bunch of awards with it and you're rolling it out to new places right now, which is great. What do you think if, let's say, everybody adopted it tomorrow?
No,
So let's say everyone adopted it tomorrow. What would be the bottleneck right now?
I think the bottleneck would be the understanding of the pouch because, I own the patent on the pouch and the process. Now, whether it's running on my machine or it's running on Tatani or is someone else that I allow to run on their machines, it's going to be a learning curve. Like when they went from the first stand-up pouch, right? There was a learning curve when somebody said, oh, and now it's a week. But now, if you run stand-up pouches now, I can drop a machine there and you're running stand-up pouches. The good news is it's as easy to run as a stand-up pouch. So the transition won't be as dramatic as saying stand-up pouch to flat bottom. The bottleneck, I think, would be 10% of the market could be 400 million bags a month that need to be produced. It is 85 sun centers in the United States. Well, you can do the math. There's going to have to be Tatani, and there's going to have to be B&B MAF or another one of these suppliers of machinery to be in alignment. But the key to this success of this is the quality control. So I think the bottleneck's going to be getting people qualified and trained on how to run the pouch and the quality aspect of it. That's the bottleneck. Now, what does that bottleneck mean? Is it a 2-month window or a year window? I think it's probably a 3 to 4 month window where people will be as comfortable running the cube as they are running a stand-up pouch. And that's the thing.
And when you're saying comfortable running the pouch, you're not saying running it on the filling machines. You're talking about actually manufacturing the pouch itself, correct?
That's right. Yeah, pre-made bags.
Yeah.
There is 2 filling companies that we're looking at right now to do the bag completely in line. But look, I'm not a big fan of, form fill complete seal because you can focus and hone in on the quality of the pouch. And you've seen some of these other brands where you can tell it's a form fill seal machine and they're just trying to throw a package on the shelf just to contain their product. Packages that are high quality, right? That when you pick it up, you feel good that the package is secure. And that's the key. So to maintain a POUCH³ license, we'll be auditing and making sure that people are looking at their retains, and we're going to be sending people out. So the bottleneck's going to be the understanding of the pouch, which is easy to run. Okay. There are some components you'll have to buy, but not a full machine. Existing machines can run this. And that's probably, I'll say, the most instrumental thing with a new format out in the industry. When stand-up pouch were introduced, there were no infrastructure machines. That's how I built my business. When flat bottom started to take hold, there weren't an infrastructure then. So people had a capital investment. I talked to a customer on Friday and he said, my flat bottom pouch machine sat for 2 years before we got business for it. And I told him a POUCH³ format XLDR machine can run stand-up pouches, can run flat bottom, can run side gusset bags, and it can run the POUCH³. So as you're building the POUCH³ to substitute out the stand-up pouches, you can still maintain your customer base. That's the uniqueness about the Sun Center pouch machine, is it's a multi-format. And all I did was add a new format to my machine.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. I mean, because there might be times where you might want to run one type of preform versus another type of preform. And if you can do both, that's
right.
all the better, right?
But Allied Flex, Dennis Calamuso, last week just ran these on his filling machine. So I'm kind of excited about that because Massman is one of the approved filling machine companies, and there's a lot of Massman machines doing the much higher weight products, right?
Okay.
But in the mid-range products, Dennis he has an excellent format to take a pre-made bag, inflate it, fill it, seal it closed, discharge it out. And I'm kind of excited that he actually liked the POUCH³ and he's like, I can still run stand-up pouch, I can still run flat bottom through it, but I have to be able to run the POUCH³ because of the notoriety that the POUCH³ has right now.
How do you think that people are going to react to no longer seeing big bags on shelf and seeing smaller, more dense bags from a customer standpoint? Do you think there's going to be a little bit of hesitancy at first, or do you think people are going to really accept it?
I'm an optimist, okay? Until you actually demonstrate that you don't have the mind to understand things, right? But when somebody sees 12 ounces is 12 ounces, I mean, look, 12 ounces in a bag that weighs 12 ounces and the bigger bag still weighs 12 ounces, they're going to be like, great, this will fit in my pantry a lot better. Try to stack 10 stand-up pouches in your pantry. Good luck. But you can stack the cubes in your pantry. That's the other benefit, is that to be sustainable, you have to use less. And to say that the industry and people are ignorant to that, they will recognize it and they will check. They will look at the price per ounce and they'll look at how many ounces they're getting and they'll be like, well, I'm not getting that big ass bag. I want this one that actually looks cool, right?
Yeah.
It looks like somebody thought about, why I'm always discouraged when I take a bag off the shelf. And that's the thing. The negative perception of a stand-up pouch when you reach for it is, oh, the artwork's great. I like the way this looks. Boom, you got the customer's attention, that 3 seconds you need. And when they grab that pouch and they feel how full it is, immediately it's a negative perception. Is that really what a brand wants? Now it's accepted, but at the end of the day, that's not what they want. How about they're like, this pouch is full. They don't care how big it is. And guess what? You can make bigger pouches if you want, because you've reduced the head space. So maybe 12 ounce isn't the right size. Maybe 16 or 18 ounce is the right size, and you're mimicking a much better value. Trust me, one package at 18 ounces and a customer wants to buy it, and the proportionate value of the product to the price per ounce, but it's 18 ounces. They only went to 12 ounces. I remember it used to be you buy a pound of coffee, and then they went to 340 grams, 12 ounces. Why? They reduced how much product was in it. I say, screw that. Double it, use the same space. Watch how many customers come after you, right? Because at the end of the day, like this 3 ounce, this is actually 4 ounces of coffee. This is like 2.5 pots of coffee for me. Right? I just open it up.
A big pot of coffee, man. You're drinking a lot of coffee.
I do drink a lot of coffee. Well, I don't know, 7, 8 scoops, right?
Yeah, I have like a 2-scoop coffee pot. I got a little 4-cup coffee pot that I make in the morning.
I make a 12 cup. 12 cup percolate. That's what I do. So,
yeah.
But anyways, I think to answer your question, I think the first reaction is going to be, am I getting less? But then they'll feel that it's full and then they'll analyze it. And that's the thing. For us to think that the masses are actually stupid, you know?
It's not.
I don't think that's the right approach. I think give them the information and why it's better for the environment. And their perception will be, I'm doing the right thing. And this pouch is full. I'm kind of happy about it. But now you got more real estate on the shelf. You can put more product in the same amount of packaging. And now your material to volume drastically changes, but your sales go up and you don't have to have multiple packages to sell.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the idea.
So it seems like you've got this awesome new format. You've got machinery that's going to run it. You got machinery that can make it. You kind of got the whole thing going. Oh, one last question I had about it. Can you run like digitally printed film on it also? I'm assuming you can.
That's Digital Gray Coast in Mexico. Look at that. Mexico's running them now. Lake Michigan Coffee. They bought all their bags from China and they put stickers on them. They switched to this and they have drastically changed. And every one of their customers go to grab the bag because it's different.
Yeah.
It's different and they love the magnet that's in it.
That's awesome. That's great.
But those are all digitally printed.
There's a lot of people who'd be interested in maybe smaller runs right off the bat, right? They want to test the market out. They want to try something new. And it's a lot easier to do that with a digital than it is to do with a full,
Flexo.
Flexo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
no, that's great.
They're 5, 10, and 20-pound bags. We're actually running them right now digitally. And they did their launch about 2 months ago. And now they have all kinds of orders coming in. So we got to actually, Allstate Printing has got to go ahead and make all these bags. And we're doing a size because I don't want to say we screwed up the size, but this 5-pound was awesome. But if you think about, it's about scaling, right? So when say a scale model, die cast model, 1/10 scale, and you look at it and it's this big, and it's like 10 times that is the size of a car. Well, the packaging is the same way because 10 pounds of this is not 2 bags stacked on top of each other. This gusset's an inch and a half bigger. The height is only an inch and a half longer. And the width of this is an inch and a half this way. Now I have 10 pounds in the bag.
Wow.
But the shelf space is the same. And the 20-pound is only 10 inches tall with a big handle on it so you can carry it out.
Having a handle on dog food is like a game changer because it gets so, you got to throw it up over your shoulder. It sucks.
But a handle, and you don't have to tear the handle off to get to the zipper. The zipper's on a different panel. So if you look at this is where the zipper is. Well, the handle is on a different panel right here to carry it out. And that's a new aspect of convenience.
Yeah. Because it's basically coming up and folding back on itself, right? That's kind of how you guys are doing it, right?
Exactly.
That's very
exactly.
cool. Very cool.
And then think about packing it on a pallet. What if I can use the handle and overlay the next bag on the handle? I have more structure in the actual physical pallet because one bag is holding the other bag from shifting.
That's awesome. That's a really cool idea. Jim, is there anything else that you want to add really quick before we wrap up? And then you can kind of shout people out to where to find you and where to get excited about POUCH3?
The only thing is I was kind of blown away at the Flexible Packaging Association because I was a first-year member, okay, and a first-year attendee. And it was really cool how they hid everything from me, meaning they told me I had 2 gold awards, which I thought was amazing, and I was all excited. And I got invited to Dan Felton's table at the president's table, and then I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, I guess I'm last, And then they announced the award that I won the Super Bowl of flexible packaging. And the coolest part is it's not common at all for a machine manufacturer to win these types of awards. It made a mark, and it gives my customers and brand owners an opportunity for something different and to help combat their costs that are coming and they don't have a plan for it. With this pouch, they can have a plan for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations again on the awards.
Thank you.
It's definitely blew me away when I saw it the first time. I saw it and I immediately got it. I mean, as a packaging guy, I was like, this is super cool, right? So it's very exciting to see that other people are also super excited about it. If someone wants to switch to a POUCH3 format, how do they get in contact with you?
Just go to my website. They can request, or they can call my office, or they can call my cell phone because that's on my website too. But I have several licensed people like Allstate Printing, Interstate Packaging, Sundance in Florida, Calyx Containers. I have Reynolds Packaging coming online, PPC Flex. And all they have to do is ask their supply, ask where they get their bags from. Can they get a POUCH3? And if they say yes or no, guess what? They can't get it, or they can get it.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking about POUCH3. I'm really excited about it. I'm hopefully I want to see this thing grow and explode. I want to see one in a retail setting sometime because I haven't seen it at retail yet. I'd love to see it at retail. So
I think by the third quarter this year, you'll see it in a lot of different stores.
Yeah,
so
it's very exciting.
A lot of things going on in the background right now.
Awesome. Love to hear that. Well, maybe once it hits retail, maybe we'll do another chat sometime because I think it'd be really fun to talk about it again.
Anytime. You know how to get in touch with me.
Well, thank you again, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening to another episode of I Bleeping Love Packaging, the podcast for people who love packaging. And for those who just don't know it yet, guys, this has been a great ride for season 1. I'm going to be wrapping up season 1 with Jim's episode. That doesn't mean that the podcast is going to go away forever. It means that I need to have some time to get some really good quality recordings with some other people. It takes a lot of time for me to edit these, and I just started a new job. So really excited to start season 2, hopefully in the summertime. But if you're interested in being on the podcast, please reach out to me at ibleepinglovepackaging@gmail.com. And we'll get you on the show. I got a little form to fill out now. Kind of helps me a little bit with the research process. But yeah, give me a shout and we'll figure something out for season 2. Today's code word is going to be cube. And if you guys put that in the comments or you send me a message or you hit me up on LinkedIn however you want to get in contact with me, I'll send you some stickers, some I Bleeping Love packaging stickers. And yeah, we can continue to make this grow. It's not going to go away. It's just on pause for a little bit. So hope y'all enjoy, and I will see you guys hopefully in the summertime. Oh, and I almost forgot. So if you guys are still interested in packaging podcasts and mine's not going to be around for a little bit, go hit up Corey Connors at Corey Connors Sustainable Packaging Podcast. Go check out Adam Peaks, People of Packaging, and go check out Avilio's Packaging Unboxed. Check out all those. They're all really great packaging podcasts. I'm sure there's more out there. I'd love to shout more out. If you guys are on a packaging podcast and you want to collab somehow, reach out to me, let me know. And I think we should all just grow this community together. So thanks.